Ciao Bella, welcome to Bella Uncinetto. I'm Christina, and I'm so glad that you're here with me today. If you're new, welcome in. If you're returning, welcome back. No matter how long you've been here, I always appreciate your time. I am going to work on my punch needle, but I'm going to do it a little bit differently. I thought that instead of you just staring at the punch needle, we could chat, right? So this is going to be called a crochet and chat, but I'm not crocheting. I am doing fiber arts though. So I thought we could just do this way this time because I do want to finish it and get it going for a Christmas decoration. And I also want to chat with you guys. Um, I do have. Oh man! I do have a video that is uploading, so I may pause. I'm not uploading. Um, it's exporting technically, which is when I've done all of the editing and like now I've made it to where it's going to be a whole MP4 file. Not that you need to know about any of that or care necessarily. Maybe you do. I don't know. But that's what I'm working on. So I may pause this just to make sure I get that uploaded because uh, it's for Monday, which in my world is tomorrow. So I'm so woefully unprepared. I'm not actually unprepared. I have videos that I've recorded to use as like fillers because I really didn't know how this month was going to play out with all of the things that I had ordered and wanted to do. And as it happens, most of the things that I had ordered and planned on um, have not come, which va bene. But to that end, um, I am. I don't want to use all of the filler videos, if that makes sense. I want to uh, try not to use them all so that, especially come my winter break, if I decide to go out, because we're not traveling, but if I decide to go out with a friend or do something and I end up not being home, I don't want to feel like, oh, I don't have a video up. And I know that a lot of people are going to be busy over the holiday, but there are also people who don't celebrate. There are also people who don't have anybody to celebrate with. So I think keeping my content as regular as possible helps people who need the company or want my company, like my company, um, because everybody has a different uh, situation. So I don't. Man, I just dropped it. I don't want to not have any content up if I can help it. But then again, I don't want to use all of the filler videos that I have. And I say filler as if they're not time sensitive. That's kind of what I mean. Like, I have some book looks and some label my libraries and some other things. Um, I'm also working on uh, the. I don't know. You may not remember the Japanese book that I got from my friend. I'm working on. Oh, that really didn't go. Okay. I'm trying to work on some of those patterns because I want to see if I can do the chart. And I really want to do the teardrop thing with you all. but I want to make sure that I have a firm understanding of the chart first and make sure that what I'm doing is following the chart, like I'm doing it the way that it needs to be done. Not that teardrop thing. I want to do that with you all. But I want to make sure that I have an understanding of how everything works before I jump on camera and say, "Hey, I know how to do this," when I don't know how to do it. So I want to make sure I know what I'm doing. Uh, I'm working on that. I have a few videos for that. But like I said, I want to make sure that uh, not everything is previously recorded content. I mean, it's all previously recorded, but not so far in advance that you don't get any, like, current information from me. Does that make sense? Maybe it doesn't. I don't know. But how are things going in your world? How are things today? So I think I'm going to upload this for Wednesday. So if it is Wednesday that you're watching this, how was your weekend? How is life treating you this week? If you do celebrate the holidays, how do you plan to celebrate? Have you already started? I know some people have multiple families that they celebrate with, so they start celebrating early. Is that the case for you? Do you have multiple families that you celebrate with? Because I know some people will do their family and their partner's family if they're close enough to each other. Sometimes even if they're not close enough to each other. Depends on the family, right? Some people also like road trips. I do not. Well, let me not lie. It's not that I don't like road trips. I just don't like to drive. So, I will take a road trip and I will drive. I just don't necessarily like to do it. So, if someone else wants to drive, I will happily go along. I will help pay for things. I will navigate. I will talk you talk to you if you need me to. I will keep my mouth shut if you need me to. Whatever kind of driver you are, I can bring crochet. I can bring a book. I can be in charge of the playlist. Um, I can mind my business. I can pay attention to you. Whatever you need me to do, right? Because if you're driving, whatever you need. If you are doing the driving, whatever you need, I got you. I don't want. I don't want to drive. Um, but when I lived in the States and when I lived in Arkansas, uh, my mom was a couple hours from me. And so we would drive to see my mom, but, and the rest of my family, of course, but I did not like it. And I mean, it wasn't that far away. I mean, Arkansas is not like California or Texas where you'd have to take like so many hours just to get across the state, right? I mean, it takes several hours, don't get me wrong, but nowhere near driving like from the top of from the top of California to the bottom, or even North Carolina, because that's where what I was gonna say, even though that's not the state that I lived in where my mom lived. But North Carolina is long, so driving there, like, I didn't have family to go visit, but like if we would go on vacation or something, we went to Asheville one year during COVID, and uh, it's a beautiful place, but it was like 8 hours. 8 hours and you're still in the same state. It's beautiful, like, don't get me wrong, but like, holy moly, it was a lot. And I had to do I had to do a lot of the things. I'll just say that. But It was a beautiful vacation, even though I twisted my ankle. I twisted my ankle coming down the stairs to go. Like, we were packed. I was just bringing the last thing down the stairs, and I twisted my ankle. And I was like, nope, I'm not going to let this, because it was my birthday trip, and we had specifically planned things to be outdoors, like away from people, because I was high risk, and there were things that we had planned for everyone, and I was like, I want to do this. I don't want to let anybody down, but also, like, I want to have my birthday. Like, I want to celebrate and do things that I had planned. And some of those things were hikes, and unfortunately, I couldn't do all of those because we were going to go see some waterfalls. Now, I did get to see a little bit, but I didn't get to see everything I wanted to see. But that was okay. Uh, but the drive to get there was long. And we had taken Sophia with us that time. Sophia was a cat that I had uh, for a really long time. If you've ever seen, sometimes you can see I have a tattoo right here. That's her paw print and her name. She was probably one of the best pets I've ever had in my life. And I've had several, don't get me wrong. But she was so sweet and so gentle, and I mean, it was like, I don't know, almost like she understood everything. And I know that animals understand a lot. I know they're very intelligent, but there are some animals that are like, you're definitely an you have more animal instincts than understanding human nature, if that makes sense. Uh, but Sophia, she took care of my kids like they were hers. She looked after them. She uh, was there for me when I was sick, even though I wasn't supposed to have her when I was sick. I wasn't supposed to be around. Ooh. Oh my lord, I am not having a good time with this thing. Hold on, I gotta get it. Ugh. I dropped the punch needle and the yarn all at the same time. But it's coming along, see? I'm doing the red. Um, but she was just the best. And she was so old and ill at that time, and she was on medicine, and I knew that if we had left her, because she was struggling at the time to get up and down the stairs, and I knew that if we had left her, she would try to go up the stairs by herself, and while that might have been fine, she would struggle to get down, and I didn't want her alone. I didn't want her in pain. Um, I didn't want I didn't want anything bad to ever happen to her. I mean, she passed away, obviously, but um, I didn't want anything bad to happen to her. So she came along with us, and she hated the car. Oh, she hated the car. That was probably moving to North Carolina with her in the car, um, and then that trip. Ah, but she definitely was better with us on that trip than if I left her alone. Because, one, I didn't want her to get stuck and she couldn't get to the bathroom. And we tried putting a litter box upstairs, but she wouldn't use it because it wasn't her litter box. And I understood that. But also, like, we're trying to help you there, friend. Um, and then, um, but she would meow and meow, and oh, it was awful in the car with her because she was not a fan. She didn't really get sick necessarily, although if she wasn't in like a crate or some sort of contained spot, she would go to the bathroom. And I learned that the hard way in a car that I had had previously. Uh, I was like, oh, she'll be okay. We're just gonna, I had to take her to the vet. It was just a checkup. Like, nothing was wrong with her. And she went to the bathroom in my car. And I was not happy with her. Um, and I was like, never again. Never, ever again. There was one other time where it was an absolute emergency and I had to get her in the car right away. And all I could manage was to wrap her in a towel. And needless to say, I had to throw away my clothes after that because she went to the bathroom on me. No, thank you. So, yeah, she was not a fan of the car. And but if she was in a like a crate, or when we went to Asheville, we got this huge, well, actually, not when we went to Asheville, when we moved to North Carolina, I got her this like it was like a cat house kind of thing. And since we had a U-Haul and stuff, I was like, we can just put her in the very, very back. And um, it was like this big, like rectangle house situation. But it was big enough that her litter box would go in it, and she would have room to like um, move around, you know. So if she wanted to. So what we did is it came with a litter box, and I put one of those like litter box liner things in there because even though it was like a vinyl, I was like, I don't want her to like damage it, or like if I don't want to just use it one time either. Like I want to be able to keep it in case we need it for something. And the litter box that it came with had like a Velcro thing on the bottom, so it would Velcro to the house thing. And then so I put a liner in there and I put litter in there, and then I had a cat bed that I put in there for her, and you could hear meow, 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 oh, the whole time. I tried to make her as comfortable as possible. It did not matter. She was not having it. She did not appreciate my efforts at all. And she wasn't a cat like Nero, because Nero walked on a leash, right? So, and if you don't know, my cat Nero was the cat that I got after Sophia passed away. Um, he walked on a leash like a dog. It's not something I trained him to do. He just did it. He knew how to do it. I don't know who taught him. I don't know if he just accepted the fact that that was how he was going to get outside, because when we first got him, every time the door would open, that cat would run outside. Like Braveheart. Freedom! Right? Uh, so he walked on a leash. Sophia did not. Sophia did not like to be outside. Sophia wanted nothing to do with the yard. Sophia wanted nothing to do with bugs or chasing things. I mean, she would kill like a beetle or something if it got in the house, but like she was not. I'm sorry. Hold on a second. Okay, she was not. She wouldn't go chasing stuff. She wouldn't chase a mouse. She wouldn't do any of those kinds of things. So it wasn't like if we stopped at a gas station or something, I could like let her out or anything like that. If I took her out, I'd take her out, hold her for a little bit, and then I mean she would go back in the little house thing. She wouldn't fight me or anything. Like Nero, Nero would fight you. Nero would fight everyone. He was not nice to everyone but me. He was nice to me. And over time, he was nice to other people, but he was not. Ugh, I still miss him though, even though he was a pain in my rear end sometimes. But anyway, Sophia was not one that would walk on a leash. She would not. You couldn't like let her outside to like go to the bathroom and she would come back. No, she would go outside if you were outside, and then she would stay really really close to you, or really really close to the door. Uh, and then as soon as you walked in, she's ready to go outside. She was ready. She was not. And if she happened to, like, there were a couple of times where I thought she went inside because the door was like open, and I was like, oh, okay, well I don't see her. Maybe she went inside. And she didn't go outside. She was like around the corner or something. And I closed the door. And no sooner did I close the door. Oh, Sophia's still outside. Okay, let's get Sophia back in the house. And my son had a dog. Uh, his name was Samurai. And he's with my mom now. Um, but when we got Samurai, Sophia was not too sure. Now, she was not a fighter. Sophia was not a fighter. Samurai was not a fighter. So they coexisted in the sense that you stay over there, I'm gonna stay over here. Except for the fact that they both really love my son. So there were times where I would get pictures of them both sleeping with him. Um, because they both really loved him. And it was cute to watch because it was the only time they were ever um, dealing with each other is when they were both wanting attention from him or wanting to snuggle with him. So I have one more section, and I have enough red, which I didn't have enough pink, but I have enough red. So I don't know. But sometimes he would go outside, and my son would go, play with him, throw the ball or whatever, and she would go outside because he was outside, my son. Uh, but she would sit like we didn't have like a porch necessarily, especially in the back. We just had like a little concrete slab when we lived in Arkansas. So she would just sit there, and even if he was outside um, with the dog and she was ready to go inside, she would let him know real quick and in a hurry that she was ready to go inside. So she was not like Nero in the sense that you could just take her out. And Nero loved to be outside. So he had to be walked pretty much like a dog. Like you would have to take him out once a day. And when we would go places, like when we go on trips and stuff, he would not be happy because while he liked to be outside, he wouldn't let just anyone put his harness on him. Um, so I did not, if I had like somebody coming to check on him, I did not ask them to to take him outside because I didn't know how he would treat them, to be honest. Because, like I said, he was not a nice cat. If you are new here and you don't know anything about Nero, after Sophia passed away, I got him. He was a stray cat, um, and I got him from the shelter. But I found out after I signed the papers, right, that he had already been brought back twice. So if I brought him back, he was going to be put to sleep. And I was like, I mean, I really wish that they had told me that beforehand. Not because I would have like given him back right away, because I don't want anything to happen to him. But I mean, it made me probably want to think twice. And I know that they were probably just wanting to get rid of him, to be honest. But I didn't think that was very fair for them to not tell me, I guess, you know. Voila. Well, I don't need it now. I do want to get it up off the floor though. Have this much red left. I wish it had worked that way with the pink, but oh well. Okay, so now I need to do the little pom-pom thing. Let me put this to the side. Put that in there. So, Nero, right? After Sophia passed away, I was really, really devastated. And, my husband at the time was like, you really need to get, you need to get a cat. You need to get something. And I was like, I don't want a cat. I don't want a cat. I don't want a cat. And then one day he just took me to the shelter. Like I didn't really have a choice. He just took me. And he was like, pick out a cat. It was like, you need something. You're sad. You're mopey. You're this, you're that. Okay. I mean, he wasn't wrong. But, I mean, I'd had Sophia for 16 years. Right? 16 years I had that cat. So, I mean, I kind of felt like I should be sad. If I wasn't sad, maybe that was that would have been a bigger problem, I guess. But I'm making the pom-pom. That's what I'm doing right now. So anyway, we looked at the cats and then we came back with the kids, and my son, he really, really, really wanted this specific kitten. And I told him that I didn't want a kitten. And I was like, you're going to be going off to college soon, and I do not want something that I am going to have to take care of once you're gone, you know. And I don't want to have to I don't want to have to deal with it, pretty much, is what I said. And so I ended up getting Nero. Well, they had told me, like I said, that I was going to have, if I brought him back, he was going to be put to sleep. And I was not happy because I felt like they should have told me beforehand. But come to find out, the reason why they thought that he was so aggressive, well, the reason why they said that he would be brought back is because they said he was so aggressive. And I think, honestly, a lot of it had to do with the fact that I had Sophia and she had problems. That's the reason why I was so observant for this, because I don't think that I would have noticed prior to this. And I say that because most people wouldn't have noticed. They would have just thought he's aggressive, he's mean, he doesn't need to be around people. But I noticed when he was walking around that he didn't like to jump down from things. He would jump up onto things, but he did not like to jump down from things. And in the state of North Carolina, when you adopt a pet, you have so many days to take them to the vet, um, to show that you know, are a good pet owner and that you are going to take care of them and so forth and so on, right? So I took him to the vet and I just asked the vet, I was like, hey, look, I noticed that he doesn't want to jump down from things, and I'm worried that there may be something wrong with his paws. I said, could you check? And the vet was like, of course, you know, but you'll have to bring him back because he was very aggressive. He was incredibly aggressive. And they were like, you know, do you have small children in the house? And I was like, I mean, I have one toddler ish. um, and they were like, well, you know, maybe you should consider taking him back. And I was like, look, I told them what they said, and I was like, I am really loath to take him back because I don't want him to die. And she was like, I understand. Okay, okay. She was like, well, you're going to have to bring him back because we're going to have to sedate him to um, do anything. And I was like, okay, that's fine. So they gave me some medicine and basically, um, said, you know, schedule an appointment and we'll get him taken care of. Okay, so I scheduled the appointment. They did the x-rays, and my daughter and I had just gone. I was like, well, we'll just go get something to eat, you know, because I didn't know how long it was going to take. And she told me when we were getting our food when she called, and she was like, I don't know how to tell you this. And I was like, oh, God. Like, I had just lost, I just lost Sophia. I wasn't ready. I was like, I don't, is it bad? Like, are you gonna have to put him down? And she goes, no, 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 nothing like that. And I was like, okay, good, because I just lost a cat, and I don't want to lose another one. I mean, I wasn't super attached to him at that point, but like, still, like, I was trying to save him, you know. And she told me basically uh, that at some point, somewhere, someone he had been someone's pet, and they had tried to declaw him, and whoever did it did not do it well. Because he um, had a lot of issues. So, if you don't know anything about declawing, because I know in Europe that's not really a thing, but in the States they used to declaw cats. And what that means is they would take their claws out, literally. But how that works is cats, their paws, right? They have um, their claws, their nails, and just like our fingernails, right? They grow this way, and they do have five, a lot of them, but um, in order to declaw any animal, right, you have to take off the top of their bone. So because that's where the nail bed is, right? But whoever had done it to Nero just took out the nail. So when they sewed it closed, the nail grew back, but it grew back under the skin. So he had these literal claws, but they had grown under the skin. And the vet said, I'm going to have to declaw him. Um, and she was like, it's been over a decade since I've declawed anything. Um, but I'm gonna have to declaw him. And I was like, okay. And she was like, you're gonna have to bring him back another time. I was like, oh, this cat's gonna hate me. He's gonna hate me so bad. But I mean, it had to be done, right? Because he had to be declawed because not because I wanted him to be declawed, right? But because he was in pain. Like, and that's why he was being so aggressive. That's why he was being so terrible to people. And that's why people brought him back, right? Because they thought that he was just not fit to be a pet, even though he had been someone's pet, obviously. Because you don't just, most people don't declaw random animals, right? If you're declawing an animal, it's because um, you don't want them clawing up your furniture, which means you're their pet. They are your pet. Ooh, that's big. Okay, well, whatever. I did what it said. Um, maybe I was supposed to use the. Oh well, I use this, so we'll see. I'll just tie it right here, and then if I don't like it, I will. I don't know. It just looks big. Maybe it's supposed to look big. I don't know. What do you think? What do you think? I mean, I gotta fluff it out more, but and I just tied it loosely because if I don't like it, I can take it out and then use. I don't know, but I don't know that this would make a good. Oh, hold on. I don't know that this would make a good one. That would be really, really thin, I think. I don't know. Anyway, so I did have to have him declawed, and everything went fine. And after that, he was a much kinder cat to other people, and he became my shadow, to be honest with you. So when we moved here, right, I was devastated when he got out, and I still hope with all my heart that he just wanders up one day because somebody picked him up thinking he was this, you know, cat that was worth a whole lot of money because he's a huge cat and he's beautiful. And I just miss him. But we'll see. So anyway, um, I hope that he's happy wherever he is. I got real sad real fast. um, but he was absolutely my companion after that. Because every cat, has their person. Um, I do not think that this new cat that we have, I'm not his person. And that is okay because he is not my favorite. He's sweet. He is, don't get me wrong. But like I told my son, right, way back then, I do not want a kitten. I do not want to have to train an animal. I mean, he knew how to use a litter box and all of that, but like, so today, for example, my daughter had a lesson that she had to go to. And I was like, we're going to try to leave him out, see how he does. Well, he broke stuff. And he got into stuff. And I know it's because he's curious. But I was like, alright, so normally we leave him downstairs. I have a big space downstairs, all the way downstairs. And we leave him downstairs. And we close the door so that he doesn't get upstairs and like mess with the tree and stuff. He doesn't really mess with the tree, but I think that's because we're home. So if we weren't home, obviously he's gonna mess with stuff because when we left, he got into stuff and he knocked a whole bunch of stuff over and he made a mess and he broke stuff. Um, so that's frustrating, but He's not ready. He's not ready to be out among all of the things in the house while we're gone yet. So, but I've told my daughter that she absolutely has to take care of him. She needs to feed him. I'm teaching her about changing out the litter box. She knows how to clean it, like, scoop everything out. But I'm working with her on, like, this is how you change it, like, completely change the litter out, wipe it down, you know, it's all clean and sanitary, and then that kind of stuff. So, it's a work in progress, for sure, because she's never done it before. I think I'm going to wait on the embroidery, um, because I need to... Is my video done? It is done. So I need to get this other video up for Monday, and then get this one edited so I can have it up for Wednesday. And I hope, fingers crossed, that the other things that I have that are supposed to be coming in the mail are here by Friday, or here at least by today when you're watching this, so that I can put at least one of them up. And but so far this is what I have. I think I'm gonna do the embroidery because I'm awful at it, you guys. So I think I'm gonna do that off camera, and then I will put the final finished version, because I need to do the eyes and the eyebrows and the smile. That's all I have left to do. But I'll put a picture up on in my community for that. And speaking of community, if there's something that you're working on, post it in there, even if it's a whip. Like, let me see what you're doing, right? But hopefully something that I have coming in the mail will be here so that I can show you on Friday. And then if you can, go back and watch Monday's video if you haven't already, the one on December 15th, and let me know what you think about that. Like, I asked some questions in there, and I genuinely want some feedback. I want some help. I want some answers from you guys to let me know what you think. All right? So let me know what you think about my punch needle so far. It's pretty much done. I need to clean this up some, and then I'm going to do the embroidery bits. But other than that, what do you think? And until I see you again, be well, be safe, and be the change you wish to see in the world, everyone. Ciao bella!